Connor Heyward is not just a tight end. He's a fullback, a running back, and much more for the Steelers' offense and special teams. And he just proved it throughout the whole preseason games. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they drafted Connor Heyward back in 2022, and many people thought when they drafted him, they only drafted him because he was Cameron Heyward's brother. But the Steelers saw him coming out of college and knew that he could do multiple things and be a very versatile guy for the Steelers' offense and special teams, playing more than one position. And throughout this preseason, he was able to show it. He had time at tight end, he had time at fullback, he had time at running back, and time on special teams. There has been much discussion over the course of the 2023 offseason about the role in which Connor Heyward will play for the Steelers in this upcoming season. During his rookie season in campaign in 2022, the former Michigan State standout played primarily at inline tight end. However, when the team decided not to sign Derek Watt and Benny Snell Jr. back, it left holes at certain positions and holes on their offense. There's a need at both fullback and third string running back. This is where Heyward can see an increased role in the 2023 season. For example, as he has experienced in playing a variety of positions during his time at the Spartans in college, during the Steelers preseason contest against the Buccaneers and Falcons, he actually did see time at all three positions. He saw time at tight end, fullback, and running back. Don't get me wrong, Anthony McFarland Jr. has earned the third running back spot on this roster, but Connor Heyward can indeed help with that. Because if you look at the San Francisco 49ers and their offense and how they use their fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, they line up at multiple spots. They line him up in the backfield as fullback, but they also line him at running back. They also line him up at tight end in need. So Connor Heyward, he could fill multiple positions. And in the Buccaneers game, he finished with 2 receptions for 34 yards, as well as 1 rush for 5 yards. And in the Falcons game, he had 4 rushes for 11 yards. So the Steelers at least wanted to see what he could do if playing running back and getting some snaps running the ball. So they saw what he could do, and now they could use him in multiple areas. Because them seeing what Connor Heyward could do, you have to think about it like this. They basically saved a whole roster spot using it to sign someone else to the team and keep someone else to the 53-man roster. Because they got rid of Zach Gentry and they don't have a fullback on the roster right now. Usually the Steelers keep 3 tight ends and they keep a fullback. But now, with Connor Heyward being on the team, they're able to only keep 1 position and keep 3 tight ends. They did not keep a fullback, meaning that they were able to keep another player on the defensive line or another player on the team in general, because they knew Connor Heyward could fill that role. He could be that tight end. He could be that fullback. So you don't need to keep 2 people at each position, because you know that Connor Heyward could play multiple positions and do multiple things for the Steelers offense. He could kind of be the Swiss Army knife for the Steelers offense and special teams. He not only does offense, but he also plays special teams and does it at a high level. Coming out of the NFL draft, he came out as a tight end, as his main position. And right away, you knew it would be hard for him to stay and find a secure spot as a tight end in this league, because he only stands at 5'11" to 6 feet tall, and most tight ends are not that size. They're much bigger, stand at like 6'3" to 6'7", in that kind of range. But Connor Heyward, he was more of a smaller type of player, so you knew it would be hard for him to find a kind of safe landing spot and be able to play tight end for a whole career. You knew he would have to do multiple things, and that's what he's done. Not only has he begun and did a good job playing tight end and using his size, even though he stands at around 6 feet tall, he's done a good job playing tight end and catching the ball. Who would have knew that his hands would have been as good as they are coming out of college, coming out in the 5th round, I believe it was? Who knew that he would be that good at catching the ball? But not only that, he's been able to play the wide receiver slot position for the Steelers last season as well. He's also had some time in the slot, and whenever Mitchell Trubisky was in the game, Kenny Pickett, he was kind of like the safety blanket underneath whenever he was in the game. He also had a big catch against the Atlanta Falcons, if you remember, for a tight end. That was a huge game for him and a huge catch for him because he was doing it in Georgia where his dad relied. So the Steelers, they have Connor Heyward and they're ready to use him at multiple positions. And I believe even though he may not see a lot of snaps at those positions like running back, slot wide receiver, at least he can still do it. His main position is still going to be tight end and it's going to be fullback this season because Derek Watts, he's gone, so the Steelers need a fullback, and he's the only person who could really play fullback on this team right now. Maybe you could put Darnell Washington there, but he got no snaps or no reps of it during the training camp or preseason. So Connor Heyward is a fullback on the roster, but he's also listed right now as a second tight end on the roster behind Pat Freiermuth. And we all know how much the Steelers play their second tight end. Even though Darnell Washington, he got drafted in the third round of this year's NFL draft, and you expect him to have a big role in the offense. Connor Heyward, he's still listed right now as a number 2. Things might change, but he's still going to see the field a lot because the Steelers love running in those 2 tight end packages with Pat Freiermuth, Zach Gentry, as we saw last season. So now it's going to be Pat Freiermuth and Connor Heyward, or Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington. Multiple combinations. So Connor Heyward, even though he was a late round draft pick last season, he's still going to get a lot of time, and he's going to play a Swiss Army knife role in the Steelers offense and do multiple things. Who would have thought a guy coming out in late round draft last year, who primarily was known because of his brother's name and kind of because of his brother having a successful career in Cameron Heyward. Many people thought the Steelers just only draft him to please Cameron Heyward and just draft his brother. But no, the Steelers saw something in him and saw that he could be a force to be reckoned with in the Steelers offense and help their team in his college career. He was playing multiple positions, and now for the Steelers, he's going to be playing multiple positions as well. Very versatile guy, and let's see what he can do for the Steelers this upcoming season. With that being said, let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel about Connor Heyward? What do you think his stat line will be this season? And what position do you think he'll play more this upcoming season? Tight end, fullback, running back? And do you believe he'll be successful at each position he plays? Do you believe the Steelers should only play him at one position? Let me know your thoughts on his versatility and how you think he'll play this upcoming season. But with that being said, there's one more topic I want to uncover for this Pittsburgh Steelers video. They signed 2 more players to the practice squad. I made a video the other day when they signed the other players to their practice squad, but they signed 3 more players to their practice squad, and they're allowed 16. So these are the players they recently signed. So they included defensive back Tariq Carpenter, running back Xander Horvath, and running back Quandre Olson. So just some kind of update on who these guys are, where they came from, maybe what they could do for the Steelers team if they have to be risen up to the main roster. So defensive back Tariq Carpenter, he spent last season with the Green Bay Packers. After they selected him in the 7th round of the 2022 NFL Draft, he saw 14 game actions, finishing with 8 special teams tackles, which was 6 on the team. Carpenter had at least 1 special team tackle in 6 of the final 8 games of the season. He also played at Georgia Tech, where he appeared in 52 total games with 41 total starts and finished with 223 tackles, 152 being solo stops. He also had 22 pass defense, 4 interceptions, 6.5 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles in his college career. Running back Xander Horvath. Horvath was drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers back in the 7th round of the 2022 NFL Draft. In his rookie season, he played 15 games, but he only started 2 of them and finished with 4 carries for 8 yards and 5 receptions for 8 yards. He also played in the Chargers AFC wildcard game, and Horvath, he played collegiately at the Purdue level, where he saw action in 28 total games. He carried the ball 268 total times, 1,181 yards total in rushing yards, and 8 touchdowns. He also added 68 receptions for 592 yards and a touchdown. So that's what he did at the college level. Running back Quandre Wilson, who they signed to the practice squad. Olson, he spent the first 3 seasons in the NFL with different teams, with Atlanta Falcons, and then he signed with the Dallas Cowboys in the 2022 season, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars this past offseason. He was selected by the Atlanta Falcons in the 5th round back in 2019, the 152nd pick in the draft. He played in 19 total games for the Falcons, also spending time on their practice squad as well. And he had 44 carries for 158 yards and 5 touchdowns, including 4 in his rookie season. And then in the Dallas Cowboys, he appeared in 3 games in 2022, also spending time on their practice squad. Olson, he actually played at the University of Pittsburgh, so he's kind of homegrown, if you want to say it that way. Olsen, he played for the University of Pittsburgh, where he rushed for 1,213 yards, 11 touchdowns in 2018, ranking second in total rushing yards in the ACC that season, and earning second-team All-ACC honors. So Olsen, he's now on the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad, and these are the 3 other guys they signed. Tariq Carpenter, defensive back, running back Xander Horvath, and running back Quandre Olsen. The Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad is now full at 16 players, so these are their 16 players on the practice squad. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel about these signings to the practice squad? Do you like them? Would you sign someone else? I guess right now there's no more room for Zach Gentry, who many people thought maybe they could sign him back to the practice squad, but as of right now there's no more room. Maybe they make room for him, maybe he doesn't want to sign back, who knows? But this is the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 players to fill out the practice squad. This is the video on Connor Heyward being versatile. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content, analysis, reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for the channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post that next Steelers video on this channel, and you never miss out, and you get a notification right away, and you're able to watch it right away, get all the news, rumors, reports, highlights, all that right away. If you want to stay in one spot for Steelers news, this is the spot for it. So like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications for this channel, and if you want me to make a certain type of video before the season starts, covering a certain aspect of the team, players, or whatever, let me know down in the comments below. I'll try to get that as soon as possible. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.